Imagine a world where fire and bombs fall from the sky instead of rain, where busy cities turn into ashes within hours, and human life become cheaper than dust. This is not a dramatic Hollywood story. It is one of the darkest and most real chapter in human history. World War II, a war that killed more than 70 million people, destroyed empire, and changed the world map forever. But the real question are, how did a pale artist become one of history's most powerful and dangerous dictators? How did a secret agreements and political decision push the entire world into flames? In today's video, we will travel from the rise of Adolf Hitler to ashes of Hiroshima and uncover the complete story of devastating war. World War II story began in 1919 when the Treaty Versailles was signed after World War I ended. This treaty punished Germany very harshly. Germany lost their land. Its army was reduced to very small size, and it had to pay a hug amount of money as a punishment. The country economy became very weak, and many people were poor, hungry, and angry. They felt humiliated in the front of the world and were looking for someone who could save them. In this situation, Adolf Hitler rose to power. Adolf Hitler was one of the most feared dictators in history and leader of the Nazi Party in Germany. He ruled Germany from 1933 to 1945 and was the main person responsible for starting World War II. Hitler is remembered for his extreme hatred, strict nationalism, and especially for the Holocaust. During the Holocaust, about 6 million Jews were murdered, along with millions of other people, including Roma, disabled individuals, and political opponents. Before coming to power, Hitler wanted to become an artist, but failed. Later, he used his powerful and emotional speeches to gain support from angry and frustrated Germans. He promised to make Germany strong again and dreamed for expanding German control across Europe. Today, his name is widely seen as a symbol of destruction, cruelty, and dictatorship. In 1933, Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Soon after, he destroyed the country's democracy and declared himself absolute leader. Hitler's main goal was to gain more living space for German people. He openly broke the rule of Treaty Versailles by rebuilding Germany's military. He began producing modern tanks and aircrafts, including the famous Junkers, Ju-87 dive bombers. Major European powers like United Kingdom and France were afraid of another devastating war, so they followed a policy known as appeasement. This meant they ignored Hitler's smaller acts of aggression in the hope of keeping peace. Hitler first annexed Australia in 1938, an event known as Anschluss. Soon after, he took a large part of Czechoslovakia. The world largely remained silent. Hitler believed that no one would seriously stop him. His boldest move came when he signed a secret agreement with his biggest enemy, the Soviet Union, that promised the two countries would not attack each other and secretly planned to divide Poland between them. This agreement cleared the path for the outbreak of war in Europe. This period is often called the time of excess dominance, when it seemed like no one could stop Hitler. In early 1940, Germany used its famous strategy, known as Lighting War, to shock Europe. Within just 6 months, the powerful French army was defeated, and Adolf Hitler celebrated his victory in Paris. Now only United Kingdom stood against him. To force Britain to surrender, Germany launched the Battle of Britain. For months, German planes bombed London and other cities from the sky. However, Britain Prime Minister Winston Churchill and the Royal Air Force refused to give up. Their strong resistance, for the first time, forced Hitler to turn his attention elsewhere. In June 1941, Hitler made that many historians call his biggest military mistake, Operation Barbarossa. He attacked the Soviet Union with around 3 million soldiers. Germany advanced quickly and reached close to Moscow, but they faced two powerful enemies: the extremely harsh Russian winter and the strong resistance of Soviet soldiers and citizens. The fighting there was brutal and never seems to end. While war continued in Europe, another major event happened in the Pacific. On 7 December 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on the American naval base at Attack of Pearl Harbor. This attack destroyed ships and killed many American soldiers. After this, the United States officially entered World War II on the side of Allies. In 1942, the war had truly separated across the world. In North Africa, German General Erwin Rommel, known as the Desert Fox, fought instant battles against British forces. At sea, German U-boats tried to cut off Allied supplies. But the tide of war was beginning to turn. A Stalingrad, German entered Sixth Army surrendered, a hug and shocking defeat for Hitler. At the same time, America's strong economy began producing tanks, planes, and weapons at enormous speed. At excess power, Germany, Japan, and Italy could not keep up. The world had reached a turning point. Hitler's downfall had begun, but 3 more years of destruction and bloodshed were still ahead. This was the time when the world saw the complete collapse of Axis power and some of the most terrible destruction in human history. Adolf Hitler became weak mainly because of a series of major strategic mistakes, driven by overconfidence and unrealistic ambition. His biggest error was launching Operation Barbarossa against the Soviet Union in 1941, while he was still fighting United Kingdom. By opening a second massive front in the east, he stretched Germany's military resources too thin. He underestimated the size, manpower, and industrial capacity of the Soviet Union, as well as the impact of harsh Russian winter. The crushing defeat at the Battle of Stalingrad marked a turning point where Germany lost an entire army and its momentum in the war. Another critical mistake was declaring war on United States after the attack on Pearl Harbor. This decision brought the world's strongest industrial power fully into the conflict against Germany. The United States was able to produce enormous number of tanks, aircraft, and ships far more than Germany could match. Hitler refused to listen to his guards and openly ordered his troops not to retreat, even in hopeless situation, which led to unnecessary and devastating losses. His downfall truly began when Germany was forced onto the defensive after 1942, the fighting on multiple fronts, facing enemy with greater resources, and making rigid military decisions weakened his position step by step. The death of Adolf Hitler was a turning point that marked the end of the darkest chapter of World War II in Europe. In the final days of April 1945, the Soviet Union Red Army had entered the heart of Berlin and was only few hundred meters away from Hitler's underground bunker. He realized there was no way to escape. Hitler chose suicide because he did not want to capture alive and publicly humiliated. He had seen what happened to Benito Mussolini, whose body was displayed by angry crowds, and he feared a similar fate. Just 24 hours before his death, Hitler married his longtime companion Eva Braun and wrote his final political statement, in which he continued to blame Jews for Germany's destruction. On 30 April 1945, Hitler and Eva Braun went to a private room inside the bunker. Hitler took a cyanide capsule and then shoot himself with his pistol, while Eva Braun did after taking poison. According to his orders, their bodies were burned outside the bunker so that enemy forces could not display them. A few days later, Germany surrendered unconditionally, ending the war in Europe. However, in Asia, Japan was still fighting. Japanese forces were prepared to defend their island to the last soldier. The United States feared that a land invasion would cause massive casualties. To force a quick end to the war, the United States used a weapon that the world had never seen before. On 6 August 1945, an atomic bomb called Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima. 3 days later, another bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki. Both cities were devastated. Hundreds of thousands died instantly or later from radiation effects. On 15 August 1945, Japan announced its surrender. World War II was finally over. Around 70 to 80 million people had lost their lives. After such massive destruction, many leaders feared that another world war, especially with atomic weapons, could destroy humanity. So in 1945, the United Nations was founded to solve conflict through dialogues instead of war. However, peace did not fully arrive. Old empires like United Kingdom and France became weaker and many of their colonies gained independence, including India and Pakistan. But the biggest lesson of the war is simple and powerful. Hatred, extreme nationalism, and the blind following of one leader can destroy entire nation. The modern world, its borders, politics, and global institutions was shaped by the ashes of this war. History is not just about the past. It is warning for the future, reminding us what can happen if humanity forgets its mistake.